Hey guys, it's Matt. I want to make a quick video for two reasons. One, to sum up all the information that's making itself available as to what's going on. Much of it is very good news. There's an element of bad news in terms of any killer pathogen or killer virus or something that's going to come get me. That news is wonderful. There ain't nothing going on from what I can see other than something that resembles seasonal flu. Of course, no reason to lock down the entire world. No reason to flush the entire world over something that hasn't even eclipsed or equated the common flu. What a virus is, the body's response to certain things creating viral elements. That's not the purpose of this video. We can explore that next year. That's not important right now. It really isn't. We can do that next year, assuming there's a degree of normalcy in the world. The other reason I wanted to make this video is Google YouTube is telling me that before the end of March, my Creative Suite or whatever I use to upload videos will not be available. And I know my old equipment does not work with their new suite. So I can make videos, but I have to give them to somebody to upload or take them to somebody's house and upload. So if that happens, I won't be able to put out more than 2 or 3 videos a week if I have to literally drive my videos to somebody and ask them to upload. So this is the same cycle we always see of, your software, your equipment is out of date. They'll use terms like it's no longer will be supported, and all it is just a forcing you to the new Big Brother software that's more easily tracked, and that's all it is. Of course, they could give you a patch so your existing software could be used, but they don't do that. They completely pull the plug, and they'll force you to go to Windows 10 and things like that. So the notice said before the end of March. Well, I don't even know if this video will upload, but that's why I'm doing a quick one here. If you don't hear from me for 3 or 4 days, it's fine. I'm working out a new system, and even if the Best Buy isn't even open, I can't even get a new computer if that's what it would take. So I'll work it out. It's fine. It's fine. There's a couple of people that don't live more than 10 minutes away that I could take a disc over, likely. So, but to sum up the information that's coming from a variety of different sources, be as brief as possible, and then maybe I'll see you in a few days. Is there some killer pathogen that's going to get you? I'm no doctor. I'm not licensed to give medical advice, but from the information I'm collecting from a variety of different sources, which seem very legitimate, no. Until this thing, whatever it is, eclipses the regular flu season, there's no reason to give it any mind. 30 million people contract what is called regular seasonal flu, and upwards sometimes of 600,000 deaths, and we're not even close to that here. It should be given no mind in terms of an illness anybody should be afraid of, no matter what the cause, no matter where it's coming from, until it eclipses the regular old seasonal flu. Even if you go by the official statistics that the death rates are a little bit higher, it's almost always, even in their own statistics, older individuals with certain pre-existing health conditions. That is unfortunate, but the death rates aren't, hundreds of times. It's a little bit more than regular flu, and that's by their own statistics that they're going to try to enhance and to massage to make it look like it's much more dangerous than it is. So in terms of going out, getting some food or whatever, and if somebody sneezes, so what? There from a variety of different sources, there just doesn't seem to be, in that regard, anything to worry about. It seems that it's becoming pretty clear that these flu-like symptoms, or even the pneumonia, is a response to something else, a response to a poisoning of the electromagnetic frequency spectrum, 5G, for example, a map on top of a map, of a 5G map on top of a CV. They match. There could be other types of environmental poisonings related to vaccine, related to chemtrails. It seems to be very clear that whatever flu-like symptoms people are showing is a response to something else, which means you go down the grocery store and somebody sneezes behind you, So what? That's not what's likely doing it. And even if it was, it's a flu. Even if it was, everybody's gotten the flu, and you just get over it. You know, if you're 80 something years old and you need an inhaler or something, you probably should be safe. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. The backside of this is much, well, is not positive at all. Is very, very, very negative, very dark. The one world system, just like I've said many times in other videos, is using this to implement a whole host of things that they're trying to implement. And what's very, very dark is the fact that it does seem like they are trying to create a new normal, where the head of Harvard, I don't know, pathogen science, I don't know what his title was, but he's the germ guy at Harvard, saying that 40 to 70% of the world will get CV. I heard that 2 weeks ago. I went, what? And what he means, he's actually being accurate in the truth drop in the way they're delivering this hoax story, this worldwide mind control under the guise of this virus. He's actually right in terms of what they're trying to do. The key to this whole thing, which I will call back up and call HOAX. I will call HOAX until it eclipses what we see in normal seasonal flu. Until it eclipses normal seasonal flu, then I'm going to return to HOAX. Because you don't shut the entire world down and flush the entire world, flush everyone's rights and the economy, which puts billions of people at risk. You don't do that over something that's not as bad as the seasonal flu. Why people around me can't see this, that's for another discussion. The mind control people are under is just incredible. But the key to how they're doing this is the test. And not a lot of people are talking about the test, but we need to focus on the test. See, because it's becoming clear that the test is the key to the bamboozle. Okay? The false positives, the fact that the test can likely find markers that even if you've had a similar flu response in the body before, like a year ago, it could find markers. And so it does relate back to what this guy at Harvard said, and others have said, 40 to 70% of the world will get this. It's that, because see, the test will back that up. It seems like everybody they test, they'll say, you have it. So the test is propagating the lie. And just to give an example that just came up yesterday, my friend Jeff and Etta were walking, and I won't give out any more information than that, but came across somebody. How you doing? Good. How you doing? He said, oh, wonderful. Well, why wonderful? And he said, because I don't believe there's any killer virus. This is basically bullcrap. And the guy said, well, I know somebody that died from it. I said, oh, really? Well, tell me about that. Was there any other conditions or anything else going on? Well, yeah, he was in the hospital because an older person or something fell down steps and he died. But he was tested and he had it. See, the way they seem to be going about this is, if they could test an old shoe, if they could swab an old shoe and have it come back with certain markers, they could raise their hand and go positive and put it in the category of a case. If they could test an old shoe, they would. Maybe they are. Maybe there is genetic material at the bottom of an old shoe. But the test is the key to this whole bamboozle. It's also potentially a giant DNA grab. People lining up to drive their car up. Yeah, go ahead, test me. And the test of, people psychosomatically feeling, ill because they're stressed or because they think they have it. There's a million people in this country that can make themselves believe they have something by watching and hearing about it too much. I have two people in my family. One that's just almost in and out of hospitals because of psychosomatic issues, and but it's amazing too that she also gets everything she's had, and meaning even when doctors say, yeah, you really have this, or the bacteria in the petri dish shows you really have the strep or really have the Lyme or whatever. So it's not it started out with her mental, but she almost manifests it upon herself because it really comes back with real disease too. So how much is the mental involved in making the real disease? There is a relationship. We can talk about that some other time. So people going in, they're swabbing, and yeah, you have it. And are these people, they're mostly recovering, just like anybody would recover from anything that you call the flu. But that's the good news. That if there was anything like Ebola that could kill like that, that's really for a bad, would be a bad situation. There's nothing like that going on. Nothing like that going on. So again, somebody coughs, don't freak out. It's nothing. But the bad news is the sinister one world system NWO agenda of creating like a new normal. Like, do I think they're going to keep us in lockdown for months and months and months, try to keep this up? No, they have to back off. But then in the fall, oh, this country there's people that are testing positive, because with this test it's so easy to test positive, because the test kind of brings back markers. The test is only looking for markers that your own immune system puts out in a variety of different stressful situations. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but this seems to be clear at this point. So the test is testing for markers. It's not finding the actual, what they call CV. It's not finding that. And it's very, in this regard, it may be similar to the AIDS test, the Lyme test. It says it doesn't actually find it. It says your body is doing A, B, and C, so you must have it. Here. It shows your body's doing this, so you must have it. They just make that link, and if it's that vague and you can make that link, you could eventually go back to what the guy at Harvard said. Could you show, if you were able to test 40 to 70% of the world's population, could you show that they have it? The way this test is set up, maybe. So the race here, again, the good news, the burden is I've got to deliver some supplies to Pam. She's out of she doesn't want to go a roll of toilet paper and some shampoo and stuff. But I'm going to go by the convenience store, Wawa, like 7-Eleven. Again, I did that anyway. I never really truly believed in this thing, but I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to hand sanitize and all that stuff. That part is like an HOAX. But the part of them, it's a race between, can they get an entire population to believe in this story, to believe in what they're doing, to believe that it's being done for your protection, versus all the information that's coming out all over the place, clearly showing that what they're doing to the world here isn't commensurate with anything. It's a joke. It's like, it's like locking the world down because 10 rats escaped out of a sewer in New York City. It's on par with that. Does that seem ridiculous to you? But it's closer to that than anything that it's going to destroy millions and millions and millions of lives. Millions and millions of people die anyway in a population of 7 billion a month. At what point will people see that, if 10 rats escaped a sewer in New York City, that it just doesn't make sense to put billions of people around the world in lockdown and destroy the entire economy, which destroys billions of lives? Like, how come people around us can't see this? It's incredible. It's a race. It's a mind control race. Really, this is a gigantic exercise in that regard, to see how far gone everyone is versus the few that will pop their head up out of the water and see this and say, this is ridiculous. These measures are... It's like somebody had emailed me, I believe. There's a say, a new candy from Nestle or something, or Hershey or whatever company, and oh my gosh, it causes cavities at a rate of 100 times more than a regular candy bar. It's just, so, kids between the age of 10 and 20 should go to the dentist and have all their teeth pulled because you don't want those cavities to come. It's like, well, that doesn't seem like an equal measure versus the threat. And it's so what's going on here. But it's the mind control they have access to and the techniques. It's just things that we can't even comprehend. It's so massive. It's things we can't even comprehend. Um, I talked to my father, and he just makes excuses why he's down in Florida living in his girlfriend's house. She has a house in, I don't know, Sarasota or something down there on the western side. And they drive to the beach, and they're very upset that the beaches are closed because that's what they like to do. But they defend it. They defend the Masters. They defend. They say, well, we hear it was because of all the spring breakers, and we understand why they had to do it. It's for our safety. Like, well, okay, well, let's say there's no more spring breakers, say after a few weeks, because nobody's even going to class at universities. That whatever spring break was happening 2 or 3 weeks ago, that everything's in lockdown. It's coming to an end. You can't have a whole country in lockdown and there are going to be hundreds of thousands of spring breakers in Daytona Beach. Say, well, you think they're going to open the beaches back up now when all the spring breakers are gone? No, probably, but it's just a safety measure. It's just a constant defense of the indefensible. Somehow it just the mind control techniques. It is the most fascinating thing to me how they get everybody parroting the same story. And I don't want to be too conspiratorial in this video. We'll talk about those big ass wild ideas, how everybody's parroting the same script in a video coming up. But I talked to my mother, and I tried it. It was being nice. I was extending the olive branch. Of course, she knows me to be a conspiracy theorist and doesn't want to hear anything. But I was trying to be nice, and I thought, well, she's had a couple health issues here and there, and she might want to know what we found out. We're finding out there's no killer viral threat. There's no killer. There's nothing. We're finding out really good news in that regard. Because, still have to go out to the store and buy some stuff and interact with people here and there and pump gas. So I call her up. I said, I've got good news. I'm going to tell her some. And she was so defensive, did not want to hear anything I had to say. I mean, she wouldn't even. I said, I'm calling for good news. I have good news. But she thinks, well, it's coming just some crazy news that's coming from a conspiracy theorist. Wouldn't even let me say the few sentences. I was going to try to relieve her in terms of the potential viral threat here. Hey, it's good news. There is no killer virus. Wouldn't even listen. Wouldn't let me even say a sentence. This is the level of defense mechanisms, mind control that people run. That is just the most fascinating thing about this. So there's a gigantic race between how many people will finally pop their head up out of the water and just say, this isn't right. I mean, the way they're laying down reality is just off. I mean, we're already there, but how many, there will be a few million people that will come out of this and start to ask questions and get in touch with a certain side of themselves. That's not a lot. Sounds like a lot. In terms of the world population, that's not a lot. I think they will still have the billions marching to the same tune, just like my father would say, defending why they have to close the beaches, defending the draconian measures. And to me, this is setting up to be, this is the last chance to wake up. Maybe is a window of time between eclipses, whatever the reason is, whether it be some mystical reason, astrological, anything I'm alluding to, or other reasons. This is pretty much the last time to wake up, to see certain things. Because if nothing else, if it's not mystical or astrological or alignments or anything, then it's just a degradation of a human being. The human being that's being molded with the synapses being rewired via what they do on their phones, and it won't be able to. It will be reduced to a condition where it won't be able to ever wake up. I think this is game seven. I'm going to say the score is tied. It's not quite tied, but this is the big one. This is, bottom of the ninth. This is the big one. And it's a race. All we can do is maybe we can turn those millions into a few more millions. And still, that's nothing. That's a rounding error over the whole population. But that's getting a few more millions. That's not bad either, if we can. And we're doing this the right way. People are doing this the right way. They're presenting this. Most channels are in a pretty professional way. There are a few that aren't. But when they're exposing themselves, and when this is all said and done, we will call them out. But that's not the point right now. But again, guys, just is going longer than I expected. But the key to everything they're pulling off is the test. Where there's so much. It's like voting. It's like voting. People say, after you go cast your vote for president, have you ever watched a TV show to see where the votes go? Like, and this is even you could say this in the 70s or 80s, or before electronics or whatever they do. A lot of the voting machines are still very old. Where did you ever see a team of reporters following the trucks to DC and all the results from the states? Or how does it happen? You never see that, do you? You never see it. There's somebody at the state. If somebody in Texas, they do their tabulation, all the votes from the counties come in. Where's the cameras in that room? We never see it. And then how does it happen? Does some guy in Austin then call up DC and say, yeah, this is Jack from Austin calling in Texas results? How did the Texas results get to the national level? See, when you have Fox News creating the drama that oh my gosh, Trump was elected in, when nobody was elected. It's all predetermined. Fox News says, what is it? They always do it late into the night. On the East Coast, it'll be like 1 a.m. This now seems to be official. Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Oh, well, where's their whole team? They should have every reporter following. How does the information come from the states? How did Fox even get their information? They didn't even show you that. Where's Fox's connection to their national representative that's saying you don't see? I'm going on and on, but the point, people, it's really mind-boggling that you co-cast your vote, but nobody ever cares to wonder where's all the reporting as to how these votes are consolidated on a county level. Then how do they get to the state? How do the states communicate with the feds? It just happens, and all you do is just go home and watch TV, and then Fox will make it dramatic and say, "Whoa, Donald Trump, next president of the United States," and everybody in the Hillary Clinton camp goes, "Yeah!" Sorry. The point is the test. Okay, I'm going to drive up to the test. They swab my mouth. All right. What flavor you got? You got spearmint. Where are you sending the test? I don't know. Where does it go? Person swabbing you would be like, I don't know. Well, how do they determine what I have? I don't know. Do they put it under electron microscope? Where do all these tests go? It's not like a pregnancy test. You throw it in some water and shake it up. It comes back blue or pink. Nobody knows. That's the fog of the test is the key linchpin, if that's the right word, to their execution of what they're doing, of what they're trying to get away with. And incredible too how all the commercials are lining up. All the big companies are lining up saying the same things. We can get through this. You can get delivery without us touching your food. State Farm, those monsters, talking about the new normal. The new normal. They actually use those words. That's what they're trying to do. But how are they going to get billions of people to basically be sheltering in their home most of the year, on and off, forever, I guess, when, years and years will go by and say, do you know anybody that was really, really sick? No, but I'm still sheltering at home. How are they going to get away with this? I still believe in many, many, many people, maybe even billions, there's still a little light somewhere they can tap into. And it seems like they've overstepped. And I think they're already being exposed. I hope this video loads. If you don't hear from me for 2 or 3 days, just give me time. I will find a new system. Thanks, guys.